Welcome on this 71st day of my class, first video. We're almost finished with morphology. That's the foundation for syntax. After tomorrow we should be done. What I want to deal with is prepositions today, and I can do so very quickly. But first of all, painting, the painting in sight. You may have noticed by now, you can catch a glimpse of a painting over there on my left. I hung it on the wall. I should probably move it. I think I will move it so it's out of sight, but later on this week, probably, or maybe next week, I'll show you that painting. It's a chart. Another thing, the chart. I told you that I would show you that chart again, that are all these words that must be recognized. For example, the prepositions. I will show that to you again. All right, we're going to start here. All the average student of foreign language ever needs to know about prepositions. There are various kinds of prepositions. If you group them by form, you can have simple ones. After, down, under. These are simple prepositions. There are compound ones. Underneath. See two words, beneath, under. They've been joined together. Throughout. Compound. I'm not sure how important this is, but you know, I showed that it could happen with other parts of speech, so why not prepositions? Around and below are actually compound, back from the days of Old English or Anglo-Saxon. So many prepositions start with an A or a BE. Well, that has to do with a prefix, or it has to do with the history of the English language. So originally they were compound. There are phrasal ones, according to Hoyle. Out of Africa is a famous book, out of. Well, that's a single preposition. It is phrasal, though. This is a single preposition. It's phrasal. Now, I say the list must be recognized. Well, there is a list of prepositions that really, to know your grammar, your English grammar, you have to be able to recognize these. And in traditional grammar, this was basically so well known and accepted that I think it was when I was in 7th grade, I had to memorize a list of about 40 of them. And I think some teachers still have students do that. They should. But traditional grammar has been not so popular lately. But now and then I'll get a kid that can rattle them off, or most of them. And they usually go in alphabetical order. Around, above, about, and then beneath, below, and on they can go. Well, so many of them start with A and so many of them start with B. Well, I'm not going to write that whole list, but here's that booklet, and it's in the chart, and I'll approach the camera with it so you can see them. I'll do that in a moment, but I think before I approach the camera, I want to point out that there are some that double up. The ones in the way I set the list up is a little different from the way it's memorized. These can double up as subordinating conjunctions. Two words over here, but and for, they can double up. They can sometimes be coordinating conjunctions, and I'll show you sentences in just a moment. And then the word to, I put it off on the side because to is a pretty interesting word. It can also be what I've learned to call a function word. I'll show you this right now. In these sample sentences, if you say, first of all, I already taught you about this. If you say he fell down the hole, well, a preposition is a word that begins a prepositional phrase. And you know why I go with that bad definition? So what's a prepositional phrase? I rely on the fact that you simply need to recognize them. That's part of it. Down, oh, that's a preposition. But it can be an adverb, and I told you that already. Down, I fell down. There's no prepositional phrase there. It's not a preposition now. It's an adverb. Well, he slept after lunch. Right there is the prepositional phrase. After is a preposition. But you compare that to he slept after he ate. Well, after he ate, in syntax, we're going to learn that that is not a prepositional phrase. This is a clause. He ate. It has predication. You're going to learn about this in syntax. A subject and a predicate. So after is joining it. Now it is a subordinating conjunction. everyone but Tom ate. When the word but means except, it is, I think you can go by that, it is a preposition. But there it is, but Tom, except Tom, if it means the same as except. Here it's a preposition. But if you say, we ate, but Tom did not, well, it's not a preposition here. It's a coordinating conjunction. Tom did not eat. This is a clause. It's being joined to that clause on an equal basis. Now it is a coordinating conjunction. If you say, I gave it to Tom, right there we have a prepositional phrase, because there's the preposition, ends with the object of preposition, I gave it to Tom. But if you say, I like to eat, this is not a prepositional phrase, because it has a verb at the end of it. This is what's called the infinitive, which I have told you. I said that that's the way you name verbs if you're being careful with your grammar. To eat. And to, in a case like that, is regarded as a function word. Many languages, you don't really need it. In German, zu essen, zu is very often used there, but not always. But that's why I put it out on the side. All right, that actually takes care of prepositions. I'm just going to slowly approach the camera so you can see that chart, and maybe you can pause it at the point where it is most in focus. And you know, it seems to me, before I just leave this, I should have done the same thing with the conjunctions because of the lower part here. I don't know if you got a really good look at that. So yesterday I was talking about conjunctions, and now I'm approaching the chart with that. All right, well, that takes care of grammar for today, and we only have tomorrow, and then we're going to be finished with morphology, the parts of speech. But I have another video. I want to talk a little bit more about Homer.